to TCM again, but maybe they're going to move around roles. I feel one of the weakest parts of TCM's game last time was sort of their Weaver play. He was way too aggressive in the offlane, got punished a couple times. And once he fell behind, it sort of resulted in the other lanes having to adjust very quickly as a result of it. Mid was kind of a wash until the supports from bottom were able to just move around very easily, get those kills on Tinker. Then once Tinker started dying, Puck was able to move around and start getting kills in the top lane. So it all kind of fell down like dominoes for TCM in the last game. And it was all just sort of on the back of Weaver getting picked off those couple times very early.
Yeah, and Tinker as well, of course, who took very long to get his boot of travel on.
Yeah, and I mean, I think part of that was because the support started roaming from the bottom lane. But you don't want that to really happen. And Tinker, he's a little bit more vulnerable to gank. You can think of it as like that's an excuse for him, especially if he didn't back off when those supports were smoke ganking to the mid lane. Maybe it was because the Weaver was already so pushed back out of lane that he doesn't know necessarily where the supports are.
Yeah,
and you can't just hide for like a minute. You could try your best to not get ganked, but you know, realistically, it's probably going to come out.
Yeah, there's only so much that you can do. And of course, by that time, he'd already died once. He'd already got a kill as well. I mean, that's nice, but yeah, he couldn't get enough farm anymore. And I mean, if you lose that lane, you basically, if you lose that safe lane for the opponent team, so that tri lane that we saw on the bottom lane for Fnatic won, and then they could leave indeed Morphling alone. And then all of a sudden you've got two supports and you never really know where they are because they could be anywhere. We gotta see TCM though, they pick up a Doom. Skywrath Mage was there as well. I'm actually expecting it to play as support. Doom could be in the jungle, could be as a carry. I'm hoping it's gonna be as a carry.
Yeah, there's like no way Skywrath cannot be a support with these other heroes picked up from TCM already. The other three so farm intensive that Skywrath's going to have to shift into a support role, which I think is how most teams favor him if they end up picking him up. Not that many really do after his sort of honeymoon period where everyone was trying him out in games. It's been a while since we've really seen a lot of Skywrath picks. But a pretty powerful hero. The silence is very effective against a hero like Lifestealer. If you can get it off before the rage, you can do a lot of magic damage, trying to take him down quickly. He has a lot of burst damage, of course, to follow up the silence, so could be relevant. Doom Dragon Knight Batrider though, it's
greedy.
Doom and Dragon Knight are really greedy picks together. Dragon Knight's, if he's going to be a mid hero, which is pretty much what you'd expect to see, he usually needs quite a bit of farm to really get going. If he's going to be a pusher or anything, he usually needs at least like a Shadow Blade before he could start moving around on the map. And Doom, he needs a lot of farm to really be able to fight at all, especially against heroes like Lifestealer. Doom doesn't have armor and has high HP, so Lifestealer is very effective against him, just like he is against sort of an Alchemist, except Alchemist can farm faster, try and make up for that fact. Doom, like, he has Devourer for some additional farm, but it's still not as fast as like an Alchemist would be. So he's going to be kind of vulnerable to that Lifestealer early on the game, and also the minus armor from Naga Siren.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, if Fnatic is going to run the Naga Siren Visage Jakiro as an aggressive tri-lane, that's gonna, like, okay, you've got Dragon Knight, still a mid hero to be picked up by Fnatic, so we're gonna see who is up against him. But the thing is about Dragon Knight, he should be able to get some farm. He's not gonna very highly win his lane, and we actually still have an OD in the pool, so if that's there, then Dragon Knight is gonna lose his lane, most likely. You got Batrider, who can of course farm solidly in the jungle, but if you're gonna be up against an aggressive tri lane, your Doom is not gonna get that much. And I mean, it's okay heroes if they have farm, but if they don't, they're gonna get behind so fast and so far that Fnatic can just spiral out of control in that time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a greedy lineup, and if they get punished for it in really any of their lanes, it's going to be hard for all of their lanes once again. Whereas Fnatic, they have a lot more going on, and Kunkka, pretty good pickup here. It gives them some additional follow-up to the Naga Sleep, especially with Jakiro, to also lay down some spells. They can do a lot of AoE damage coming off of that sleep, and it also gives them some resiliency in these fights with the boat.
Yeah, and I'm thinking Kunkka Dragon Knight, it's a fairly decent matchup, and I mean, Dragon Knight shouldn't die. He has got, of course, his Dragon's Blood. Kunkka shouldn't die either, and both will be able to get some levels and some farm at least. So we'll see if they run an aggressive tri lane, because if they do, Lifestealer will probably be by himself farming on that top lane, and he should be able to stay alive up against a Batrider. who is now officially the offlaner slash jungler, because I still wouldn't be surprised to see him put in the jungle, depending on what TCM is of course expecting from Fnatic, and I think we can kind of expect an aggressive tri lane from them. I hope so.
Well, you're saying the aggressive tri lane from Fnatic?
Yes.
They could certainly do it. I don't know if Blue-Ray Ninja is going to be able to really jungle on that Batrider with the Enchantress pickup.
Well, he only needs one camp.
Yeah, I guess if Enchantress is really going to heavily sort of move into the lane once she grabs one creep, if they run the aggressive tri lane, it's certainly possible that they'll need to. I don't know, TCM, it's just so much farm that they need with this lineup. Pretty much all of their heroes want some farm. Even Skywrath is a hero that usually gets at least a little bit. He can go completely hard 5 here, which is pretty much exactly what he's going to have to do. It limits his effectiveness quite a bit.
Prepare for battle.
Fnatic uses smoke straight away. How about that?
Yeah, they're rushing down to this bottom lane. I don't know what they're hoping to get from it. Maybe they're just... Is their team fight at level 1 really that great? It's okay.
They've got the net on one. They've got, of course, No-Tail that will just wait until they need either the nuke or the Grave Chill. They've got something from the Lifestealer. Let's see. Nothing yet from the Kunkka either. Jakiro, nothing yet either. So the only thing they have is a net to scout someone off. And they are going to try to scout someone off. And it would be Go Audio if they catch him. Or Atsi, whatever they find first. It is going to be Atsi. I'm quite surprised they pick up the one next to the tower. Ice Path. Hits up on Atsi as well. Tower doing quite a bit of damage up on Trixie though. But it is going to be the first blood going the way of Hani. Can they find more? That tower. Be careful for that tower, Hani. He will have the tower taken over by Trixie, but Trixie is gonna be dead very soon. So, oh my god, she lives. That tree eating was enough. Era will still end up going down though. TCM at least getting one return kill, and those sticky napalms are quite sticky, but the torrent will be stopping TCM from chasing it down. 2 kills going the way of Fnatic. They are gonna have to go back to base though, because... You know, if this is an aggressive tri lane, which it looks to be, because Era, after he died, he went top. We still have No-Tail sitting on the bottom lane. We have got Fly staying on the bottom lane. And Trixie will have to probably buy a TP. And yeah, well, they got the first blood. And he got the first blood, which is decent. That's a solo mid with an extra batch of gold.
Yeah, Era died too.
Yeah.
In the middle of that fight, so they lost Lifestealer, but they got 2 kills out of it. And I think Era died last. Yeah, Era died last, so he was around for some of that experience where he gained like half a level. Along with the rest of his team, things are looking okay for Fnatic with that fight. It was really aggressive of them. They dove a tower. Maybe they weren't expecting like all 5 heroes from TCM to be there, which is certainly reasonable. Usually you don't see big 5v5 engagements on a tier 1 tower before the game starts.
Yeah, I mean that tower, if it wasn't on that tower, Era probably wouldn't have died.
Yeah, almost all of the damage that Fnatic really ended up taking in that fight was from the tower. Yeah. And then eventually from Batrider just stacking a million points of sticky napalm on everyone, but...
I think nautical.
You're right. Let's see who was playing what, because I don't think we went over that. Did I go over that? No, I didn't.
No, I don't think we did because that fight took place so quickly.
Yeah. So yeah, for Fnatic, they are on the dire side this game. We are going to have Trixie on the Naga Siren. Fly will play the Jakiro for his team. No-Tail on his Visage. In the mid lane it will be the Kunkka played by Hani. And then on the top lane, last but not least, it is Era playing the Lifestealer.
Yep, and for TCM, in the top lane we're going to have Blueberry Ninja on the Batrider. For the off lane, mid lane will be the stand-in Sasu playing the Dragon Knight. And then finally, bottom lane, it's going to be Hawaii on the Enchantress, Go Audio on the Doom, and finally Atsi on the Skywrath Mage.
Yeah, and look at those wards. Hawaii was looking for them, but I mean, this one is out of sentry range, so she can't find it. There's 2 wards there, so even if they find one, they won't be finding the other, and it's nicely done by Fnatic just to make sure that they're gonna have the lane to themselves, and they are having a lane to themselves. Go Audio is not able to get in range to go for any last hits, because when he does, there will be a Riptide. He will have lower armor than he already has, which is actually quite low. There will be a net, there will be a Soul Assumption, and an Ice Path, the Necroprayer. There's nothing you can do, and Halo poll results. Fnatic, very much in favor, 17% going the way of TCM. I have respect for those 17%, and kudos to you for multitasking.
Yeah. trying my best. People were running the poll, and I was like, all right, I'll put that poll up. I'm not going to type a ton of stats during the game, but I'll do that one.
Nice.
Yeah, those 17% are the kind of people who are like, oh, the rares I can win if they win, because it's not looking good for TCM. They're already behind this game. They obviously got kind of stomped in that first game, and their lineup is so greedy here that I don't really feel like they can afford to give up kills like that early, especially if this tri lane doesn't work out in the try versus try. Their top lane's a Bat Rider up against a Naix, and Naix is definitely going to have more and more impact as the game goes on. Bat Rider gets a lot of farm early, it can be great. He can get that fast blink dagger, but it doesn't look like Blueberry Ninja is having success.
Nope, not at all. I mean, he is getting aggressed here. Ira won't be able to kill him off, but Blueberry Ninja is sitting on 10 for 1 on last hits. It was Blueberry Ninja that got the kill on Ira in the start of the game though, so that's nice. But, I mean, Ira sitting on 16 to 5, so a bit extra last hits for him, a bit extra experience. Blueberry tries to do what he can with the neutrals here, but it is very tough for him. And he is supposed to be, or right now, he is supposed to be the person, and maybe together with Sasu, as we see Hani actually being forced to back off with the Torrent. But yeah, he is the person that's supposed to be buying time for TCM to get their farm up, because they're not getting it right now. And you already said at the start, like, if they lose one of their lanes, they'll probably lose most of their lanes, or at least, you know, they will be in a bad shape from that moment on already, and it's tough to get out of that, crawl out of that hole.
Yeah, one of the good things is that mid lane Enchantress found a Harpy Storm.
Yeah.
And as a result, Hani is having an absolutely terrible time. Fortunately, he had a regen rune, so it didn't go as poorly for him as it could have gone. He was able to just sort of regen a lot of that harass up. But that Harpy Storm is really frustrating to lane against. It's just going to sit there continuing to spam that Chain Lightning out. And they might go on Hani here.
Yeah, they slow him down. We don't have another go though. No Dragon Tail in range. And level 5 still up on Sasu. He was close to level 6. If he would have had that, we might have had a long range Dragon Tail and he might have been able to go for that, but didn't have the mana, didn't have the levels, so in the end, I guess it's lucky for Hani that it is actually an Enchantress and not a Chen, because the Harpy is about to go down. But yeah, that's the most annoying creep to have of all.
Yeah, but the Harpy used like 2/3 of its mana pool anyways.
Yeah.
So most of its effectiveness was done. Usually the Chen ends up just sacrificing it anyways at that point. And yeah, it could be better, but it could also be worse, at least in this mid lane. And Sasu getting harassed a little bit there.
Yeah, the moment that the Harpy is gone, Hani wants to make him pay. Hani, of course, still level 6. Or also level 6, I should say. 25 to 5 for him. Oh, Dragon Tail is there, but no more mana for Sasu. He has to be so careful, because Hani might actually... Never mind, that's why he came in. He has got some backup. Atsi, can he get the last hit? One more hit needed. Yes, he can! There we go! That's gonna be a kill on the middle lane. I almost thought that Sasu was gonna suicide there, but in comes the support. They saved the day. But yeah, I was gonna say that Hani has 26 last hits while Sasu is sitting on 21. We have got a bit of a bug. No bugs.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I don't know if Sasu was just completely baiting Hani out.
And
if he was, very, very smart, because Hani will almost always take that bait, I feel like. Definitely the kind of player that's always going to be very aggressive in these lanes, trying to force as much advantage out as possible that way. And with these supports here, obviously, he gets punished, ends up going down. And that's a pretty good kill for them to get. If they can build enough advantage in this mid lane, it can go a little bit better for them. Dragon Knight can maybe get the Shadow Blade, if I'm assuming that's what he's going for. It could be something else. But if he does get a Shadow Blade early, he can move around, try and help in these other lanes. Doom is not having a good time bottom at all, especially with these supports moving around trying to help mid. And I think maybe they've just accepted that that is going to be the fact of this game.
Yeah.
With Trixie down there with the minus armor, and then of course Fly. Then Jakiro can set up an ice path really easily off the net. And if Visage is there, he just has a lot of burst damage. Though he has headed up to that top lane now. So maybe they're just trying to force out Hani in the mid lane, build advantage for the Dragon Knight there, rely on that carry. But if they're losing top, they're losing bottom. It's not really where they're going to want to be. I guess it's pretty close top.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not necessarily lost for Blueberry, and he definitely has his lasso now as well. So might be able to get something done. But yeah, like you said, No-Till has rotated, and they're actually going to try to go for him. They should be able to. Lasso or not, Soul Assumption already hit, and that's going to be enough damage to get him down. No-Till in the end with the last hit, and Blueberry should have probably just let his lasso go. As in, not lasso and just fly away. He might have been more lucky then, but it was a tough call to begin with. And he goes down. In the meantime, Doom also going down the bottom lane. A rotation from Hani coming in. The boat actually helped out. There was, of course, Ice Path net. Actually, Ice Path wasn't even there. And Jakiro, he hasn't used any of his mana for that engagement. But Doom goes down. That is 2 lanes at the same time. Killed off. And only one stays alive. Which is Sasu, who came back, of course, on full HP and mana. In the middle lane where Hani was not present.
Yeah, and that's really big for them to get those kills in the 2 lanes. They take down Doom and Batrider, and those are important heroes. Doom obviously going to be more important as the game goes on, and Batrider very necessary to their strategy as we hit this mid game, next 10 minutes or so. If they can get more kills on the Batrider, it's really, really good for Fnatic. Batrider is very, very necessary if they want to get kills. Trixie in trouble in the bottom lane though.
Yeah, lands a net up on a YO, but he's still running. Altsy, no more mana, no more cooldown. Ice Path will actually just be there just in case. But they weren't chasing it anymore. Trixie, tanky enough to stay alive, has also got that Ring of Health, but Belt of Strength and a Stout Shield will definitely help out with that. Level 5 up on her. Level 5 also for the Enchantress, who's almost level 6 by the way. Levels on Trixie are coming quite a bit, quite slowly actually there, as Batrider goes down on the top lane again. Same combination. I mean, I feel like he was just a bit greedy, wanted to stop the pool from happening. Ended up dying for it.
He almost killed No Tail. He was taking him down pretty quickly, and then Arrow just showed up and was like, hey, and he died. So, yeah, he's being aggressive there. He's trying to stop the pull from No Tail. He's trying to also get a kill, maybe force that support out of lane, so he feels safer in that lane. Ends up just feeding a kill, and that makes Visage hanging out up there even more beneficial.
I'm missing kills all over the place again. Dragon Knight goes down to the Kunkka in the mid lane in the end. Again. I say again, it was the first time that Kunkka died actually. Sorry, that Dragon Knight died. That's a pretty decent pickup. Boat juice for that as well.
Yeah, if you land Torrent Boat on someone, it's very easy to get the kill with Kunkka this early in the game. Just does a lot of magic damage, and then of course you have the physical damage from the splash and your auto attacks. But good kill for Hani to get. And his is solo. He didn't even need support for it, which gives him even more experience. The supports are already doing okay on his team. Jakiro is moving around now as well. He's invisible, heading up to the top lane, so it looks like they want to probably get another kill on Blueberry Ninja, and then from that, take that tier 1 top.
Yeah, as Trixie gets away here on the top lane. There is a Doom though. They're actually gonna go for Trixie right here. Not sure if they can get him though, and this is not a Doom that would actually kill Trixie off. In the meantime, on the top lane, indeed, Batrider goes down again. Yeah, I had to decide which encounter to follow, but I guess Doom was a more secured kill, and Trixie will be able to stay alive. I mean, that was a wasted Doom, as in the ability.
Yeah, they're not able to get the kill on Trixie in the bottom lane. They use Doom, which is one of their bigger spells for it. And in the meantime, they also get in trouble top. They keep going on Trixie, but they don't really have good follow-up here, especially with Doom already on cooldown.
Yeah, and now that she knows that the Doom is on cooldown, the only thing she has to worry about is, of course, the Ancient Seal, who would also silence her up, so she can't have a song. But I think she's tanky enough to survive through that and still have a song after that to get away, should it be needed. The pressure goes on the tower now instead, though, and that might actually be a reason for Fnatic to rotate a bit more. And also, actually, here comes Enchantress from the side. The silence is up on there. There is a song, though. Is she tanky enough? Here comes the song! The attack was still flying from Hawaii. That's gonna be the one thing that she didn't account for, and that's gonna be her death. His death.
Yeah, Trixie just playing pretty aggressive there, felt safe. But realistically, was he even smoked up? Like, Enchantress wasn't smoked, was she?
Yeah, she was. I believe
was
she
she?
was.
Okay. Alright. I was like, they have a ward there. I didn't notice because I was trying to watch top lane where they get the tower now.
Oh, boat comes
Hani.
in. Dragon Tail's already there. Hani in a lot of trouble. Here comes the Doom, but he's no mana. Just attack damage from him, which is okay-ish, but it's not really something to write home. But we have got also nice Visages stuns. Hani seems to be able to get away. That boat buff really helping out. Really helping out a lot, actually. Hawaii getting slowed up. Goes for a couple of impetuses, but Trixie is actually wanting to just get himself that Riptide on there, and that forces TCM back. In the end, no kill here on this bottom lane. And I think for both teams, they can be happy with that, because they could have lost to Kunkka, but they also, I think, TCM could have lost a lot here, and we still see Era looking for blood. And he's actually going for this.
Really far in.
This open wounds, because it is level
aggressive.
3. He has got those drums of phase boots. Here comes TCM though, and they are gonna go for Era. I mean, he might get the kill. Infest damage is gonna be it. Oh! He is gonna get lassoed and silenced. He's not gonna get the kill. You do not go past start and you lose. You don't get a kill, and that's aggression that you can't afford.
Yeah, and a little bit of fail micro there from No Tail with those visage failures. I think he could have gotten the last hit, but he like started sending them back. Maybe he thought that he was already dead or whatever. Was just gonna pull the familiars back before they towered out. Ends up not really using them. They both go down as well, so he feeds the 200 gold to those heroes. That was kind of weird. Fnatic, I don't know why Arrow went in that hard.
Oh, Sasu is in some trouble. Boat comes in as well. Nice ice path, stopping Blueberry Ninja. He wants to go for Lasso. But will he actually he can't, he's on cooldown. We still have the Dragon Knight going down, no surprise there, as Awayo comes in with a couple of instances. Might go for Fly, gets it as well. Now has to be on the run, but goes down instead. Open Wounds up on Atsi. Era wants to go in again, looking for blood. This time he actually gets it, but it is Kunkka that gets the last hit. Visage will end up going down as well. Skywrath Mage at least getting a kill in return. It is 2, 4, 3 here in the middle lane. 2 supports down on Fnatic. And well, I guess 2-ish supports with a Dragon Knight going down on the side of TCM, so Fnatic getting the better of that trade. And, of course, they get a tier 1 tower, which is the second tower to go down on the side of TCM, and of course also the second tower on the map in general.
Yeah, they just able to take the fight and then take a tower, which is exactly what you want to be doing. Skywrath Mage got that kill in Visage with his ultimate, just dropped the Mystic Flare on his head, and Visage like, oh, dots. Those are really effective against my Gravekeeper's Cloak, and also lots of damage. Also pretty effective against my 800 HP. Yeah, it was a kill, but they end up trading 3 for 2. That's obviously less than ideal, and Fnatic now moving down to the bottom lane. Just gonna go for the last tier 1 tower they have to take.
Yeah, and there's nobody here of TCM to try and prevent them from everything, because they want to go for a kill up on Era, indeed. They end up getting him, which is nice. Actually, I'm not sure now. It's not worth losing a tier 1 tower for, unless they get a tier 1 tower themselves, and they are sticking around, so I'm thinking they want to go for that tier 1 tower. The question is Fnatic gonna try and defend it? I wouldn't put it past them, especially not since they have a song to set things up with. There is a TP scroll, and there they go. It is gonna be already the bird that comes in first. Where is the rest though? Are they gonna let it die?
Looks like they might. They're gonna rotate mid and try and get Doom.
Fortification will help out a little bit. Visage, not quite sure if he can defend it. We still have Go Audio, a bit careful here. He knows he has to be careful. Honey with that haste rune chasing him down. There will be an X mark the spot as well as a torrent. Here comes the Doom though, Hani. Not gonna die from a TP out from Go Audio, and there will be no stun because the TPs went top. They go for that flag, already goes down. Looks like TCM is trying to take the fight for them. Hawaio, Nature Tendons keeping him up. They are able to pick up Trixie. Now No Tail gonna be the next target, but he is able to keep himself up, and that's gonna be all over the map. TCM getting ahead. They got the Lifestealer. They got 2 kills on top of that. They got a tier 1 tower, and all they lost was a tier 1 tower bottom, which they were gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, so it ends up just being 3 kills, and 2 of them on important heroes,
Yeah.
Lifestealer and Naga, and they're re-engaging here.
Yeah, nice Visage Bird. Boat actually misses. So of course gets the buff. Blueberry Ninja able to get himself out. Open Wounds upon Hawaio. Uses an Earn Charge, but yeah, we'll get dropped down. TCM just sticking around for a little bit too long, and Fnatic able to make that work for them.
Yeah, Fnatic able to get 1 kill. It's on Enchantress, so it's like the second least important. Yeah, just be above Skywrath Mage, that's the one. Who they probably don't really care if they kill. But it's like a weird fight from Fnatic. They wait till basically the tower's down to go in that top lane. They go in with only 3 heroes, and all of those heroes died? Did No Tail die? Yeah, No Tail died too. So they ended up like waiting way too long to initiate. They had to decide if they were going to try and defend the tower or not. And they end up just giving away a bunch of kills and the tower, which
And
is
the
obviously
courier.
less than ideal. The courier, oh geez, the courier died too. So it's like giving away basically 2 towers up in that top lane and 3 kills for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, if you're wondering who the courier was going to, I could actually not tell you, because it has a medallion of oh, No Tail. What? Oh lol. Wait a second, mid lane fight going on. Last 2 hits up on Hani. Gets dragged back into the fight, but Blueberry Ninja, you can't fly through those flames, and he is actually gonna go down. That's a Visage with a double kill. No Tail getting it done for his team. Hawaio getting stuck inside in a snare, trying to run himself out, while Nature's Attendants are trying to get him back to life. Here comes a dual breath. It actually hits from the low ground, and he will end up going down. That's a team wipe and a triple kill for no-till. Trixie with the double. They only lost Handy in the end, which is of course because of the lasso. Good fight for Fnatic. Very good fight for Fnatic.
Yeah, TCM committed Lasso and Doom to killing the Kunkka. They get him, but when those are your like team fight abilities, and I guess actually they used Mystic Flare on the Kunkka at the beginning of the fight too.
Yeah.
And he just walked out of it. That's like all of their spells. And when you use that on one hero, sure you get him down, but everyone else is there and they just kill you. Which is exactly what happened there. They finished off Kunkka, but not even that quickly, and they were able to take a bunch of kills on the back of it. Fortunately, they didn't keep their tier 2. No Visage Familiars, maybe?
Oh, the song! It sets up for trying to take the tower. They already go for it. Here comes the Mystic Flare up on Era, though, doing a lot of damage. The tower still gets destroyed by Era himself, but he goes down for it. Boat flies in. This is TCM in a lot of trouble. YO able to keep himself up just barely. X mark the spot. We'll make sure that Sasu goes down. Blue Bear Ninja flies towards the high ground. And that is gonna be, should be Fnatic backing off unless they dive too far. Honey again, a lasso up on him again, he goes down. Now no-till trying to fly. Trixie takes a big impetus to the face but is able to reach the high ground, and they try to chase down no-till. Here comes another slow. They should be able to get him. In the meantime, we also have the Bat Rider trying to chase down Trixie. No-till, one hit. No, 2 hits, there we go, that's gonna be a kill. In the meantime, Trixie was also picked off. Bat Rider was still able to get her. Blink Dagger, of course, up on Blueberry Ninja. And that's gonna be 4 dead on Fnatic, and that's called overextension.
Yeah, they got the tower down, and I think they just have to run after that, especially with Era just getting killed immediately as the tower goes down. It was somewhat unusual that they decided to send Life Stealer all the way forward to last hit the tower. I guess they wanted to give it to a carry, but if they had just gone with a ranged hero, I think they could have just taken it and run.
Yeah.
Or at least fought back away from the tier 3 where no one's going to get lassoed and pulled into the tier 3, which is exactly what happened to Hani, and once that happens, he's down. Era died obviously at the beginning, and things just kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, that was already, wow, Dragon Tail up on what? Up on the bird? You got a bird. Woo. That was already the song that helped out, but it didn't hit the Skywrath Mage, so there was a Mystic Flare up on Era before the fight actually started, so he already took a lot of damage before that, and then everything just went bad after that for Era. And the thing that I was gonna say before the fights happened is that the courier actually has a recipe for the Medallion of Courage, so we know who sent it to kill, to die. Which was, of course, then no-till. But he made sure he bought another recipe for the medallion before he left the base the next time. So he has got 2 recipes in total. But I'm thinking they're gonna go for Roshan purely because of that. But right now, they need to counter-work first indeed. And they need to just make sure that they are finding themselves safe on the map. Because it feels like TCM, I mean, even though the trade's constantly, in the end, a little bit more in favor of Fnatic in terms of gaining some extra control about the game, TCM is still very dangerous for Fnatic. And they are gonna go for Roshan right now, so looks like they're gonna get that for free. Doesn't look like TCM knows that this is going on, even though they just got counter-warded, so they could expect it.
Yeah, and even if they know, it's really risky for them to try and take this fight. It's in a really small enclosed area, and they have a lot more AoE on the side of Fnatic than TCM. TCM have pretty good single target stuff with the Doom, with the lasso, but if they get caught by like a boat, a torrent, macro pyre, ice path, even Song of the Siren just for Fnatic to disengage, that's pretty miserable for TCM. And that's kind of the story of a lot of these team fights. When the team fight is just a team fight, TCM are coming out way behind, they're getting team wiped, etc. And it's when Fnatic take these really disengaged fights, they in trouble.
Audio, he tries to TP himself out. Here comes the ice path to stop that though. X marked the spot was there just in case. It was a smoke up with 5 people into the Radiant jungle, and that is everybody else of TCM out of their jungle to find some safety. And yeah, you're right. I mean, they've, like, with all their single targets, they've done an okay job shutting down the Kunkka, who now actually goes as a first item for the Crystallis. So he's got his crit soon as they go for slow up on Hawaii. Let's see if they can get the kill. Here comes the rest of TCM though. No-till, you're out here all by yourself. Walks through the Mystic Flare. He is gonna get picked off there if he's not careful. It looks like he will be fine. Doesn't want to. TCM don't want to chase. They don't know what's around the corner, obviously, or what's up the high ground. Even though they do have the ward, but you know, around the corner, you can never tell. Fnatic is in the meantime picking off the tier 2, and that is gonna be another